Galaxy Voyage, Part 1, The Dragons of Doom, written and performed by L.D.P. Stead. Chapter 1, Orphan. It is a perfect day. Blue skies, birds singing, the fresh smells of spring in the air. Until the attack comes. Unprovoked, unexpected, and utterly ruthless. The white Terranaut ships scream down from the skies, blasting everything in sight with hot green lasers. Houses explode. Flames roar. Lasers cut like knives. A small boy clings to his mother. The killer robots have landed. He can hear them coming. They are close. There is a deafening roar. A huge ship is landing right in the market square. The boy and his mother are frozen with fear, watching in horror from their hiding place. The ship lands, crushing everything beneath it. The door of the ship slowly opens. Bright lights shine through the smoke of the fires. Then there is the sound of slow, heavy footsteps. A tall, powerful white robot emerges. Its armor is glowing and radiant, and a long white cloak hangs from its enormous shoulders. The robot turns its armored head slowly. Its face is a mask, frozen in a single expression, a slight smile fixed on its lips. Its eyes completely black, unblinking they stare at the devastation all round. "Find the boy," commands the white robot. "Yes, Lord Vendax," reply the killbots before him. They salute and turn. They are coming. The boy is terrified, watching the scene. His mother shakes him. "You must run, you must hide, don't look back," she is crying. "No," the boy won't let her go. "Go, you must go now," she shouts and pushes him away. The killbots are almost on them. His mother stands and runs towards them. There is a screech of lasers and a scream. "Mother, no!" the boy cries. Now the killbots turn towards him. He runs and doesn't stop, through the village to the woods, the branches whipping past him, thorns ripping his clothes and skin, yet still he does not stop. Then he trips, and he stumbles, and falls down and down, bumping over the rocky ground into a deep pit. He is stunned, petrified in the darkness. He hides and waits, hoping for his parents' return, knowing they will not, too scared to cry. Suddenly, a cloaked figure sweeps over him. He gasps, but it is not Vendax. The arms are gentle. The words are kind. He is carried away. He is safe. But where are his parents? It was a dream Jack Trainer dreamed often, a nightmare from which he awoke with a terrified cry on that cold morning 10 years later. His roommates sniggered at him. "What's the matter, Jack? More bad dreams?" The boys ran laughing from the dormitory. The nightmare had left Jack shaken and afraid, and this morning he wished he felt better. He had been summoned to his master's study. He was in trouble again, and this time he knew it would be serious. Chapter 2, Master Stroud. "Your behavior is outrageous. You are reckless and disobedient, and you show no respect for the rules." Jack stood with his hands behind his back, his head down, and listened to his master. Here we go again, Jack thought. Here comes the lecture. "Here at Truno Abbey we offer you a simple life, a life of discipline, of patience, and of self-control. We have rules to protect ourselves, to protect our secrecy and our way of life." Master Stroud paced the hard wooden floor of his dark study as he spoke, his head held high, his long brown robes hanging from his broad shoulders. "Yet time and again you break the rules. What was it this time?" Master Stroud asked Jack. I was defending a friend, Jack replied through tight lips. It was those bullies from the village. Just because Lara is not human and has blue skin, they were going to hurt her. I had no choice. You attacked and injured the son of a village elder, exclaimed Master Stroud. You broke his arm. The village leaders are very angry. You know you are forbidden from using your special fighting skills outside of the Abbey. Then Master Stroud stopped. He took a long, slow breath and looked at Jack. Jack's eye was blackened and bruised, and his lip was cut. Master Stroud smiled. It is sad, the Master now spoke slowly, that in a universe full of wonderful, colourful, alien races, of so many different shapes and sizes, that someone should still judge another person by the colour of their skin. Quite ridiculous, and quite awful. I do understand your actions, Jack, but there must be a consequence. There must be a punishment. It was, at that moment, that Jack's world changed forever. I'm sorry that I have to do this, Jack, said Master Stroud. The flames of the candles on Master Stroud's desk flickered in the cold morning breeze. Jack straightened himself, ready to hear what the punishment would be. It was worth it to have saved Lara, and Master Stroud was always fair. It was then that it happened. There was a high-pitched whine of a fast-approaching ship, a blinding flash of green laser bolts, and then a deafening boom as a mighty explosion burst through the room. The stained glass windows shattered into a million tiny pieces. The books and papers on the desks and shelves cascaded in a shredded mass through the air. Jack and Master Stroud were thrown across the room, both landing heavily on the solid oak floor. The breath had been knocked out of Jack's body. His ears were ringing. He looked through a stunned haze at the remains of his master's study. Jack's body was cut and bruised from head to toe by splintered wood and broken glass, but he was all right. "Master!" he cried. Jack could hear more explosions ripping through the Abbey. Some very close by, he could hear the screams of the monks. Truno Abbey was under attack from Terranaut ships, but why? Why would killbots want to attack the peaceful Abbey? Master Stroud lay on the floor. Jack could tell something was wrong. He crawled to his master. Blood covered the floor. "Jack," Master Stroud gasped. Jack reached his master and kneeled by him, supporting his head in his hands, fighting back the tears. A sharp wooden shard from the windows had pierced Master Stroud's chest. "Jack, there is so little time. It is Vendax. He is after you. They came too soon. I should have told you earlier. Don't try to talk. I'll get help. You'll be fine." Jack tried to keep his voice calm, but couldn't. He knew that his master would not be fine. Another large explosion shook the room, and dust and rocks fell from the ceiling. "Listen, Jack. All depends on you." Master Stroud grasped Jack's shoulders as he spoke. "You have been trained here at the Abbey for a special purpose. We have kept you hidden, and we have prepared you. I should have told you sooner. I have something that I must give to you." From inside his robes, Master Stroud pulled a small metal device. It was round, very old, and was covered in strange, ornate patterns. Writing, perhaps, but no language that Jack recognized, and he knew many languages. "Take this, Jack." Master Stroud handed the device to Jack. "It is called the Omicron. It is a key to unlock a powerful weapon, the only weapon which can destroy Vendax and his evil killbots. You must find the 6 crystal jewels to activate the Omicron. They are hidden across the galaxy. Use the map on the back of the Omicron to find the jewels. Now, all depends on you, Jack. You must stop Vendax, or all will be lost." Jack looked at the Omicron. He could see 6 holes around the edge of the device into which the jewels must fit. He turned it over and saw that the patterns on the back were indeed a map of the galaxy. But how would he read this map? How would he know where to go? Where should he start? "But Master, I don't understand." "There is no time to explain. You will find the way. Use your training," Master Stroud gasped. "Jack," the old master pulled Jack closer to him. He struggled to speak. "This is important, Jack. You must remember this. Things are not always what they seem. Be careful who you trust, and look for help in the most unexpected places. Remember, Jack, remember, things are not always what they seem." "But Master Stroud, I won't leave you," Jack replied, tears burning his eyes. "You must go, now, before it is too late," exclaimed Master Stroud. Then the eyes of the old master closed. His head fell slowly backwards, and he was gone. "No!" cried Jack. "I'll get you for this, Vendax," Jack shouted into the dusty air. "One day I will avenge you, Master Stroud, I promise." Then he heard the high-pitched whine of another attacking ship. Green lasers flashed. He had no time left. He left his master and ran to the door. Chapter 3. The Silver Fox. Jack fled from the room, flames from the explosion behind him engulfing him as he ran. His robes were on fire. He pulled them off and cast them aside. Wearing only his combat training trousers and light shirt made it easier for him to move more quickly, and he had to move fast. He would not be leaving the Abbey alone. The Abbey was racked by explosion after explosion. Great chunks of rock crashed to the ground. Dust and smoke filled the air. Monks fled in every direction, desperately trying to find a way to escape. Jack had been raised at the Abbey by the monks after his parents died. It was the only world he knew. It had been a life of hard physical and mental training, of waking up every day before dawn, washing in freezing water, practicing fighting skills, climbing the icy peaks of the mountains around the Abbey, and studying information from the thousands of books in the great library. Now Jack was glad that he knew the Abbey so well. He knew its secret ways and passages. Behind a statue, he pulled a hidden lever and a door opened in the wall. He jumped inside. Now he was running down a deep, circular staircase, then along a dark, damp corridor. Another explosion sent him stumbling down another set of steps, and he tumbled headlong into a wooden door. It burst open, and Jack fell through, rolled over, and landed flat on his face on a carpeted floor. "Jack!" Before him stood a girl with blue skin and long, straight, dark hair. "Lara," Jack replied. Lara rushed forward and helped Jack to his feet. "I knew you would come," Lara exclaimed, her eyes filling with tears. "What is happening?" The friends embraced. "Thank goodness you are all right," continued Lara. "I heard that Master Stroud's office had been destroyed. I thought you were dead." "I'm okay," replied Jack. "But Master Stroud, he is gone." "Why? Why would they attack here?" Lara cried, burying her head in Jack's shoulder. "I don't know," said Jack. "Come on, we have no time for our sorrows. We have to get out of here." This room was their secret meeting place. It was a perfect hiding place, but today it would not keep them safe. Today they needed it for another purpose. From this room there were secret passages leading all over the Abbey. Jack had counted on Lara meeting him here. He had prayed that she would have the same idea, and now they were together. It was time to escape. "We've got to get to the ships in the hangar before they are destroyed," said Jack. Lara wiped the tears from her eyes and nodded. Sadness would come later. Now it was time for action. The two friends fled through the winding rocky passages down into the heart of the mountain, staggering to stay on their feet as explosions rocked the abbey above. It was here, in a cave deep under the abbey, that the Fox ships were kept. The Fox ships were small, agile space flight vessels used by the monks at the abbey to get supplies from the local moon base. Now they were the only way to escape the certain death that the killbots would bring. Jack and Lara sped down dark tunnel after dark tunnel. Then they climbed up through a small opening in the rock and out onto a main corridor. Other abbey monks ran beside them. Electrical fires sprayed sparks and flames over them as they ran. Ahead lay the Fox hangar. They burst through the hangar door and ran for the nearest ship, the Silver Fox. They ran up the ramp, which closed smoothly behind them. Both jumped into the soft pilot seats of the cockpit and flicked the ignition switches. The engine roared to life. Just then, a huge explosion ripped through the hangar, and the doorway from the abbey collapsed, blocking the passageway through which they had entered. No one else would be able to escape that way. The ceiling bowed and buckled. It would not be long before the whole place collapsed on top of them. "We have to get out of here now," cried Lara. As the Silver Fox lifted off, Jack and Lara looked ahead of them and saw several other ships begin to move. Blue Fox, Red Fox, Green Fox, and Black Fox. Some of the other monks had survived and made it to the ships too. The engines of the little ships lit up as they swept forward towards the hangar door, which was set halfway up the sheer cliff on which Truno Abbey was built. The exterior hangar door had been blasted open. Fire, smoke, and steam drifted across the runway, making it hard for them to see as they flew towards the opening. Red alarm lights flashed, emergency sirens wailed, and far above them, thunderous explosions continued to smash what remained of the abbey. Blue Fox was the first ship out of the hangar, but as soon as it burst into the sunlight outside the mouth of the cave, a vicious stream of green laser bolts ripped it to pieces, and the little ship exploded in a ball of red and yellow flame. Several Terranauts, white killbot ships, had stationed themselves at the entrance of the hangar. Too large to enter, they were hovering, waiting to shoot down any Fox ships that appeared from the hangar door. Jack and Lara both saw Blue Fox explode and gasped. "We'll have to do this fast," shouted Lara. "I'll fly, you get on the gun." Jack didn't argue. Lara was the best pilot at the Abbey, and he was the best shot. He jumped up from his seat and got into position in the gun turret. "Hold tight," cried Lara. Lara gave the ship full power. The Silver Fox shot out of the hangar entrance like a lightning bolt across the bright blue sky. Again, the green killbot laser bolts blasted, but this time they missed their mark. The Silver Fox was too fast for them. As soon as they left the hangar entrance, Jack opened fire from the Silver Fox gun turret, and red lasers streaked towards the Terranauts. "Take that!" shouted Jack. The three killbot ships exploded in a mass of fire and twisted falling debris. The way was clear. The other three Fox ships, taking Lara's lead, also hit full power and now swept safely out of the hangar entrance. As the Fox ships swung up and turned ready to make their escape to outer space, they passed over the Abbey, and a terrible sight met their eyes. The Abbey was completely smashed and ablaze. Even as they watched, a final huge explosion shattered what was left of the ancient building. Their home was utterly destroyed. All they had known was gone forever. However, this was no time to grieve. Above them, the sky was filled with terranauts. The white killbot ships rushed towards the foxes in waves across the sky. "Follow me," Lara cried into her radio. All the foxes turned and dived. At full speed they aimed for the ground, just pulling up at the last moment. The terranauts pursued, blasting green lasers after the little fox ships, which now skimmed along the surface of the rocky planet, twisting and turning, dodging the jagged rocks which appeared before them, and narrowly evading the green rain of laser blasts which cascaded down on them from behind. From his gun turret, Jack returned fire, his red lasers obliterating one killbot ship after another. Monks in the other foxes shot too. The sky raged with red and green laser bolts, but even as some terranauts exploded and smashed to the ground, more appeared to take their place and to continue the chase. When killbots were ordered to destroy a target, nothing would stop them. They were fearless, ruthless, and relentless. The Black Fox was now the last of the fox ships. It was at full speed, desperately trying to evade the vicious green lasers, but the terranauts were gaining on him. "There's too many of them!" cried the monk from the Black Fox. Then, in a blaze of green lasers and a ball of yellow flame, Black Fox was gone. Now, only 3 foxes were left, the Silver Fox in the lead, followed by Green Fox and Red Fox. They turned a sharp corner, and suddenly, before them, a giant cliff barred their way. But this was no surprise. This was what they were heading for. In the cliff face was a small crack, large enough for the foxes to fly through, but too small for the terranauts. This was where the foxes would make their escape. "Hold tight," cried Lara. The foxes rushed into the crack in the cliff, tilting on their sides, only just squeezing through. Sparks flew off Red Fox as its hull scraped the wall of the chasm. But the pilot just managed to correct the little ship in time, and they made it through safely. The foxes sped away in the thin gap between 2 mighty cliffs of solid rock. The terranauts were too slow to react. Too late to turn, too large to follow the foxes, chasing their victims at maximum speed, they were doomed. One after the other, in quick succession, the killbot ships slammed into the face of the massive cliff in a giant, furious explosion of twisted metal and green flame. "That got them," shouted Jack. "We're not out of this yet," replied Lara. With a sudden jerk at the controls, Lara pulled the ship upwards, now racing up a vertical shaft in the mountain. The Fox pilots could see the sky ahead. This was it. Now was their chance to escape off the planet and into space.